One time where I felt like I was being held back because of my current identity was in my former college. I had to constantly worry at what point will my identity make my growth, both academically and professionally, come to a halt.
I felt very limited in where I was able to apply for college. I felt that the environments surrounding those campuses wouldn't be welcoming to me as an LGBTQ student.
When I started undergraduate, I felt limited and constrained by the fact that I was queer and didn't know any queer people who had pursued what they actually cared about.
My medical school class of about 200 students, I was the only queer woman of color. Almost everything about my medical school, from the curriculum to the culture, was really outdated. I also didn't have any queer faculty members who looked like me, so it was really difficult for me to picture myself in a successful career.
Growing up in a traditional first-generation Indian American household, I always had the notion that because I was gay, I didn't deserve to be happy. I even began to abandon my childhood dreams of becoming a physician because I thought patients, fellow doctors, and the community members would think that's not allowed or that's not okay.
You know, at the beginning of my career, the general sentiment among most of the other adults in child welfare was trans folks do not belong working with children.
Not a week goes by where I'm not reaching out to another Point Scholar, sharing whatever resources we have, and talking about how each of us is approaching new challenges presented to us.
Because of Point, I've gone to do many things I never thought I could ever do. I've made films for PBS, I've guest lectured at Harvard, I've directed a web series, and get the chance to inspire those around me.
It gives me a lot of tools, both large and small, to kind of succeed as an LGBTQIA+ identifying scholar and student.
It's just been great having local support as I try to navigate college life, being really far away from home, having people who I know and can talk to and rely on.
As a community college scholar last year, I was paired with a mentor, Ian. It was nice to have someone as part of the LGBTQ+ community to talk to.
You know, having that financial support to be able to go to school full time, it's empowered me to gain more expertise around my profession and get things done.
I hope to work to provide some legal assistance to especially the trans homeless community in the area.
To apply the law equally and justly, just like I know the LGBTQ+ community deserves. Basically, I want to be able to give back what Point Foundation and other amazing people have given to me.
I decided to try and find other queer folks at my institution, and at our meetings we're talking about how we can face instances of homophobia or transphobia. We're also organizing trainings and events on gender and sexuality and working on reforming our respective schools' curriculums to be more LGBTQ inclusive.
Less than 3% of all foster youth actually obtain a 4-year degree. My goal is to move that needle as close to 100% as I can get in my lifetime. Point Foundation imbues me with the fortitude and the confidence to believe that I can do that.
Point Foundation is so much more than just financial support, mentorship, and leadership training. It's a community, and it provides critical stability for students that might not have that. This community was built by the generosity of people like yourself and the very special partners we want to say a big thank you to right now. Our presenting sponsor, Wells Fargo, and our premier sponsor, Cadillac. And thank you to the donors on your screen for their support. To everyone joining us right here virtually, thank you as well. We appreciate your support. All right, it's time for the main event. Not your typical event, obviously, but it's not your typical year. 2020, what's up? Tonight you're gonna hear all about Point Foundation, the tremendous impact of the 134 LGBTQ students that are supported by people like you. And we're so grateful that you're here. In addition to hearing from a very special Point Scholar, we're honoring two very deserving champions of the LGBTQ community, Justin Simien and Joe Mantello. And our evening's gonna finish off with the legendary En Vogue. We hope you're enjoying your meal wherever you are tonight, catered by Platters by Design. So I need you to sit back, grab a bite, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Point Honors Los Angeles. I wish we were able to be together in person for this event, but we continue to follow the advice of our nation's doctors and scientists, and therefore have created this virtual event. Fortunately, I'm breathing a sigh of relief as I address you this year. because for the first time in 4 years, I am cautiously optimistic that our nation can finally return to a place of decency and decorum. We have tried to do our best to demonstrate to our scholars what it truly means to treat someone with kindness and compassion. These last 6 months have been a challenging time for everyone, but here at Point Foundation, our highest priority remains meeting the needs of our scholars. Indeed, one of the reasons we have been able to focus on the needs of our scholars is thanks in no small measure to the generous financial support we received from many of you. COVID-19 forced campuses across the country to shut down. Think about this for a moment. If you don't have campus housing, you can't eat in the cafeteria, you don't have access to the internet, and even worse, if your family doesn't welcome you at home, where do you go? Point Foundation immediately stepped in and created an emergency fund to help our scholars find housing, food, and internet access so they could continue to attend classes virtually. But even with the challenges presented by this pandemic, Point Foundation continued to look ahead and stay focused on our mission to help LGBTQ students. In fact, this year, Point is supporting 134 individuals, more than we have ever supported in a single year. That number includes community college students, as well as those pursuing 4-year and postgraduate degrees. And for the first time ever, we awarded one-time scholarship grants to 44 students across the country. We are very proud of the fact that our current group of scholarship recipients represents one of our most diverse classes ever. But we knew we needed to do more. And that's why I'm very excited to announce that beginning in January, we will be granting awards to LGBTQ Black, Indigenous, and people of color individuals disproportionately impacted by systemic racism in education. We hope this initiative leads the way for others to join us in our efforts. But there's no denying that our country has been through a very difficult time these past few years. But what gets me through difficult times is our scholars, who continue to impress us every single day with their perseverance and their resilience. They are determined to change the world and make it a better place for all of us and for future generations. Because of our scholars, I remain optimistic. And with your continued encouragement and support, I am convinced that our Point scholars will lead the way. Enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, my name is Elle Lorraine, and I just gotta say, what an amazing year for the incoming Point Scholars. This incredible organization has remained a steadfast institution and continues to pave the way for the LGBTQ youth of tomorrow. And not only are you our future leaders, but you're leading us right now. So thank you, and congratulations. When I was originally approached to present Justin with the Point Horizon Award, I could not have been more proud. It is such an honor to have him recognized by this very special organization. And I am so excited to join in with all of you in celebrating my friend and my colleague, Justin Simien. His incredibly unique point of view and bold-spirited drive have led him down an extraordinary path, one that inspires many of us to proudly speak our truth, to never compromise our art, and to trust ourselves more than the naysayers. Dear White People was not only a brilliant introduction onto the world stage, it was a mirror being held up to that world, our world. His characters are honest, lovable, flawed, controversial, and just like him, quite provocative. And like him, they never apologize for it. Most recently, Bad Hair came onto the scene, and I might be a little biased, but I truly believe that it has cemented him as one of the voices of this generation. This artist who, with such intricate strokes, crafts his creations and repeatedly proves that Black voices, queer voices, and marginalized voices not only need to be heard, but are the voices that carry the melody of this human spirit. So, please join me in congratulating my friend and one of my favorite truth tellers, Justin Simien. Congratulations, Justin!
Hey there, it's Justin Simien coming to you from the set of Dear White People Season 4. I want to thank you so much for this amazing award. I'm so glad to be here to accept at the virtual Point Honors Los Angeles event. And I want to first say how proud all of the incoming Point Scholars should be of their achievements so far. And look, I'm not that far out from my college years at Chapman University, but I have been around long enough to know that while every year there is progress towards greater acceptance and inclusion, we still have a ways to go. Point Foundation is part of the solution, and that's why I'm especially proud to be honored. The students Point supports have overcome a multitude of obstacles to obtain the very best education they can get and to use that opportunity to build community and become LGBTQ leaders. That's amazing. Additionally, LGBTQIA young people who are Black, Indigenous, or otherwise people of color face additional challenges that I know that Point is committed to addressing disparities, inequities in higher education through the diversity of their Point scholars, and by broadening and deepening their support of BIPOC students with a new dedicated scholarship fund. Now, as if pursuing an education were not challenging enough, there are so many outside forces, you know them: homophobia, transphobia, racism, the economy in general, COVID. All of these things are arrayed against young people who are starting out perhaps without the support of their families and communities. It takes so much courage to come out and be your true, authentic selves, knowing that the world may or may not fully embrace you. Add to that all of the stress that comes with, starting college without being able to go to college, learning and trying to find community while working on a laptop from wherever home may be. But listen, if you can help it, try not to spend too much time focusing on how things ought to have been. My student thesis film Rings, it came to me after sitting across from my, I thought, very lovely classmates who vehemently argued against marriage equality, i.e. my right to marriage, to my face as part of an extracurricular debate. The work I'm best known for, Dear White People, came after 4 years in college and many more working in Hollywood, often being the only Black queer person in room after room after room. I know that at times it seems like progress is slow, but it is. I also know, though, that we are on the right path with leadership demonstrated by Point Scholars already through community service projects that range from establishing nonprofits of their own to supporting local artists to helping their communities who face extraordinary needs during COVID by helping folks apply for benefits, helping out at food banks, and so much more. I am truly in awe of every 134 Point Scholarship recipient this year, and I'm grateful that Point is here for you. I'm also just honored to be a part of this community and honored to accept this award. For everyone watching, thank you so much for supporting Point and making so much possible. Thank you.
Hello, this is Alan Cunho, co-chair of the Board of Directors of Point Foundation.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Cuerdo, writer and director.
Hi, I'm Andrew Galwix.
I'm Peter Lichtenthal, co-chair of the Point Foundation Board of Directors.
Hi, my name is Ellen Pellman, and I am so honored to say congratulations and welcome to the incoming 2020 class of LGBTQ+ Point Scholars.
Your stories, your actions, and your presence have already been so inspiring to us. And we are so looking forward to the special and amazing ways in which you are taking your place in this world.
In our community, we often have to face seemingly insurmountable obstacles, from difficult conversations with our families at home to justifying our rights in the courts. We have had to overcome so much to be here today.
I read all of your bios and I was floored. I am so deeply impressed with all of your accomplishments, and I can't wait to see how you're going to leave your mark on this world.
I hope that you are as proud of yourselves as we are of you and of your accomplishments, and you have accomplished so much already in your studies, in your work, in your activities, in your community outreach.
While we would normally be in Los Angeles celebrating this in person together, I would like to share some thoughts with you virtually. I feel so energized and moved and hopeful when I see people like you, each of you recipients of the 2020 scholarship, who are galvanized and have come together and are really, and I want to be clear about this, not just the future leaders, but the leaders of today.
I'm so proud of each and every one of you, not just because you've joined the fight, but because you understand that life is not just about surviving. It's about thriving. It's about having the right to love who you want and walk hand in hand down the street unafraid. It's about having the right to pursue your dreams, no matter where you come from, no matter how much money you have to your name.
Your list of accomplishments is unparalleled, but what is so remarkable is how you've prioritized giving back to our LGBTQ+ community, whether that's through healthcare or through the arts or social justice or business or social work, or whether that's creating the first GSA at your school.
You've already made a difference, and this is just the beginning, because there is virtually no limit on your ability to achieve your goals and your dreams as the LGBTQ leaders of tomorrow.
The youth of today have you to look up to and to aspire to and to be motivated and moved by. So I thank you, and I thank the Point community for allowing these incredible students the opportunity to flourish.
And leading us all to a society that is truly about fairness, justice, and equality for everyone. So as you begin this part of your journey, please know that your Point Foundation community is here for you, is supporting you. And it will be our special honor to see you approach the future with such promise and with such hope. We are so excited for and looking forward to all that you will achieve.
To the class of 2020, you are leading us now. You have the creativity, the imagination, the strength, and the power to write and direct our future. I'm so excited to see where you'll take us.
And in this historic time, you're stepping forward to create a more fair and just tomorrow. And I cannot wait to see what you achieve.
To the 2020 class of LGBTQ Point Scholars, congratulations.
Congratulations again, and welcome to the Point community.
And I hope you are celebrating tonight because you have worked so hard to be here and your future is filled with unlimited potential. Welcome to the Point community.
Best wishes to all of you, and again, welcome to the Point community.
All right, time for a real superstar of the show tonight, a student at the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts. CAA Point Scholar Reeves Gift is our featured speaker. Reeves is just one of 134 students that Point Foundation supports, but represents all the reasons why Point Foundation's work is so important. The impact that you have on students like Reeves, well, that makes a big difference. Without further ado, please welcome CAA Point Scholar, it's Reeves Gift.
Hi, my name is Reeves Gift, and I am the CAA Point Scholar with the Point Foundation, studying Cinema and Media Studies at the University of Southern California. I'm from the DC area, and my family is from Trinidad and Tobago. I love my culture, and I love the islands, and I'm glad I got to spend a little bit growing up there. I wouldn't trade my heritage and the amazing people who came before me for anything else in the world. But my family, like many other families all over the globe, hold very strongly to traditions. I'm a believer that the worst thing that could happen to a person is to be exiled by their community or family until they are too broken to belong. I was a senior in high school when I came out to my parents. Their reaction made it clear my life was no longer precious to them. I spent the rest of the school year living alone and far away from them. I entered college my freshman year and tried to pretend things were all right. I did well in classes, I had one or two friends, and I tried to pretend that I wasn't meandering through life. When I was named a Point Scholar in my sophomore year of college, everything changed. I wasn't wandering for a purpose. I found a community who let me know it was okay. It was safe to set a goal and run towards it. Because of Point, I've gone to do many things I never thought I could ever do. I've made films for PBS, I've guest lectured at Harvard, I've directed a web series, and get the chance to inspire those around me. I'm closer than ever to my dream of one day writing for television, specifically television animation. The Point community of scholars, alums, donors, and my mentor, who I hold very dear to me, Rowena Agrelius, are the reasons I feel taken care of today. And for me, the feeling of being taken care of is new and exciting and encouraging. Thank you all so much for the support you give the lives of LGBT young people in academia. You see that our lives are precious. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Reeves. An amazing story and testament to the work that Point does. Listen, we couldn't do that work without support from our generous donors. So whether you bought a table or sponsorship, or you're a guest of a sponsor, we hope you'll make a gift right now. I'll wait. All right, I got another special treat for you up these sleeves. A special guest. You might know him best from his role as Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, but his most recent star turn was in Netflix's production of The Boys in the Band, directed by our own Legend Award honoree. Here we go, Jim Parsons.
I'd like to begin by first congratulating all the incoming Point Scholars. Your leadership and inspiration in this year has been a bright spot in what otherwise has been pretty wacky and a little dark, so thank you and congratulations. Secondly, it is my sincere honor to have been the person chosen to present this year's Point Legend Award to my friend and colleague, Joe Mantello. Joe is an artist who has been affecting my life since long before I ever met him, by originating roles in plays such as Tony Kushner's Angels in America and Paula Vogel's The Baltimore Waltz, two plays that both dealt with the AIDS crisis in their own different ways, two plays which I loved and read and performed scenes from as an undergrad in college, and two plays that showed me aspects of the world I had yet to encounter yet. Around this same time, Joe was directing the premiere production of Terrence McNally's Love, Valor, Compassion, another play that dealt with AIDS, but more importantly to me, especially at the time, but even now, it was a story about a close-knit group of gay men who were friends, who were chosen family, and I remember watching that play and feeling like I was getting a glimpse of my own future, replete with all the promises and warnings that held. I finally met Joe when I had the chance to work alongside him in Larry Kramer's seminal work, The Normal Heart. As Ned Weeks, the lead character who is thrust into a role of leadership in the early days of the AIDS epidemic, Joe gave the finest performance I've ever seen in person. I had never before and never since seen one person's work tear up and affect an audience the way that his did. Joe brought within him and shared with all of us an understanding of what it meant to be a gay man, an understanding of what it meant to be an outsider that was so deep and rang so true that everyone who entered that theater left that production with a greater understanding of all of humanity than they'd had when they entered. Beyond Joe's real-life connections to LGBTQ+ issues, Joe is simply, as an artist, a miraculous storyteller. Whether he's acting, directing, or helping a writer come up with a new piece. I think this storytelling ability on Joe's part is really what sets his work and his whole life apart and has a core reason why he's had such a major and positive impact on not just our community, but the whole world. You know, many of us care, many of us want to make change, make a difference, but it really is the blessed few, like Joe, who truly understand how to craft a story that can change hearts and minds, and we are so fortunate that he has used his talent to help make this a better world for all of us. Please join me in congratulating Joe Mantello on receiving this year's Point Legend Award, and thanking him for all that he's done for not just our community, but the whole world. Joe, thank you, congratulations. I'm very proud to be the one who gets to say all this about you. I love you.
Hello. Thank you so much for this honor. I am beyond thrilled to receive it and to share this moment with you at the Point Honors Los Angeles virtual gala. It seems that so many of the social rituals that we've taken for granted for years just aren't possible at the moment, but that doesn't mean that our resolve or our causes are weakened. And exactly the opposite. In fact, I think they're more essential now than ever, so thank you. First, I would like to say a huge welcome to the 2020 class of Point Scholars. You are beginning the next phase of your lives at a pivotal and very challenging point in our history. But please know that you are not alone. Separation does not mean isolation. The work that you put into getting here is remarkable and heroic and inspiring, and it's why we're gathered here in this virtual space, because you represent the hope of a wiser, stronger, kinder future. My most recent project, Boys in the Band on Netflix, is in some ways the story of how far we've come, and yet it is also a reminder of how much work it takes and how much more there is to do. Some of you may know Boys in the Band is adapted from a 1968 play by Mart Crowley, and it reflects a time in LGBTQ history that was dark and oppressive. The men in the story are all wrestling with some form of self-hatred and shame because they are living in a time that has not afforded them some of the most basic of all human rights. It's a stark reminder of the cost of oppression. Yet underneath all of the barbs and laceration and rage, the story also shows the joy and comfort these men take in their relationships with one another. For better, for worse, they have formed a community, a chosen family, and like all families, there are a lot of flaws. And yet, it's also a story of resilience. There is a yearning built into the play for love and forgiveness and kindness towards one another. And the fact that our cast was made up entirely of out gay actors, that's something that would have been unimaginable in 1968, speaks to a kind of remarkable progress achieved through insistence and hard work. An organization like Point was also unimaginable during the time of Mart's play. The reality that today more young people find an accepting community of support as they pursue their education is a fact that can never, ever be taken for granted, and Point is a huge part of that evolution. You, Point scholars, are embodying the spirit of a community asserting its worth and strength and vitality. One of my proudest achievements was being a member of the original company of Tony Kushner's masterpiece, Angels in America. And every night at the end of the play, which was thrilling and long and enormous and long, I stood on stage and I listened to the extraordinary epilogue set at Bethesda Fountain in Central Park, in which the character of Prior Walter, a gay man who has been living with AIDS for several years, turns and for the first time speaks directly to the audience, challenging them to believe in change even in the face of great adversity. He says, "This disease will be the end of many of us, but not nearly all, and the dead will be commemorated and will struggle on with the living, and we are not going away. We won't die secret deaths anymore. The world only spins forward. We will be citizens. The time has come." So in my work, I've been able to gaze back on where we've come from and to imagine where we're headed. And I have seen with my own eyes that the world only spins forward, and that brings me comfort even in these dark times. Your support of the Point Foundation is vital to ensuring an easier path, not obstacle-free, but easier for the young leaders in our community. They need our help along the way. And if we can make one young LGBTQ person's life even a little easier, then we have that obligation. So, thank you again for this tremendous honor, and if I may once again borrow the parting words of Prior Walter, bye now. You are fabulous creatures, each and every one, and I bless you. More life. The great work begins.
Hello, Point Foundation. We are so thrilled
to be celebrating our dear friend Joe Mantello tonight
for receiving the Point Foundation Legend Award.
Through his exceptional work over the last 3 decades,
Joe has amplified and empowered LGBTQ voices
on stage and on screen.
He is truly a legend, and we couldn't be prouder.
Congratulations, Joe.
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 Congratulations, Mr. Mantello.
And what a night so far. I really am so honored to be here with you to share in this celebration. Congrats to both our honorees, my man Justin Simien and Joe Mantello. Thank you to all you've done for the community. And to Reeves, you're a scholar, a speaker, and an absolute inspiration. Lastly, I'm saying thanks to you, our audience, for showing up. Point Foundation's work is so crucial to young LGBTQIA+ students, and we are so grateful for all your support. But guess what? The night is not over yet. You've got just a moment here to refill your drink while we set the stage for a very special performance. I literally cannot wait to show you what else we've got in store. Now, you might have watched them recently on the Billboard Music Awards, or they might be in heavy rotation on your playlist like they are on mine. Joining us for a special performance is the iconic chart-topping En Vogue.
Welcome and congratulations to the 2020 Point Scholar class. We are so proud of you. We know you're going to change the world, and we can't wait to see all you accomplish. This song is for you and the entire Point Foundation community.
When I had you, I treated you bad, wrong, my dear, but since you went away, don't you know I sit around with my head hanging down, and I wonder.
Thank you all for joining us for this special event. You still have time to make a gift before you leave our space, but you can do it after too. So hit that donate button before you head out to get into the Cadillac Escalade waiting outside the virtual ballroom. Be well, stay strong, and show love.